Hello and welcome to Moneylife. This is Sucheta Dalal. Many of you may or may not have heard Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman deliver the union budget. Now, I'm sure not everyone is interested in everything, but usually all of us are interested in one thing, which is tourism. Who doesn't like to travel, right? And India should have been a tourist paradise. Instead, it is a paradox. There are great ambitions, there's a lot to see, and somehow things don't work. But Budget 2026 sent out a strong signal that India was finally recognizing that we are losing the global tourism race. Despite extraordinary cultural diversity, wealth of historical monuments, scenic beauty, there's nothing that India does not have. And it also has a lot, which is filth, crazy last mile connectivity issues, and whatnot. So, not only are we not attracting foreign tourists despite all the positives, but we Indians ourselves are rushing off to Southeast Asia and other countries, which are now laying out the red carpet for us, offering visa free travel, direct connectivity, and of course, absolute value for money to see the most scenic places, stay in good hotels at a fraction of what it would cost you in India. So we go abroad. And our own country, which has so much to offer, is not on the radar for everybody. Think about it. Over 2.1 million Indians went to Thailand alone. Thailand attracts four times the total number of tourists that come to India. Isn't that crazy? A million Indians went to Singapore and Malaysia. The number that went to Vietnam has quadrupled. It's nowhere near this, but it's increasing. What happens when you go there? You come back with fond memories and a sense of being shortchanged by your own country because of the staggering gap between incredible India, which is all about beautiful advertising campaigns, and the hostile ground reality. You're paying steep prices for decent hotels. And after that, you have no escape from poor connectivity, the taxi mafias in most places, especially if you're going to hill stations or beaches, indifferent service, hygiene, safety, dirt everywhere, rampant illegal constructions, incessant honking on the roads. I don't even need to tell you. You know what happens. So, what is happening today is that there is a surge of social media posts demanding better value for money, saying, why can't we, when we have so much more to offer, be like the Southeast Asian countries? And remember, global tourism has surged after COVID. It's not that we are traveling post 2020, everybody is traveling a lot more. Are they coming to India? No. In fact, India's inbound tourism is stagnating at pre COVID levels. So there was a slump after COVID and it has shot up for most countries. We have not even got back to pre COVID numbers. Like I said, people prefer to visit countries that offer them better quality, even if they have much less to see in terms of culture, heritage, temples, what have you. What is worse, at least seven major countries, including the United States and UK, have issued travel advisories for India, telling their citizens that there are safety concerns when it comes to women. And this has happened several times over the last 5 years. So, will it be any different this time after you listen to the budget? Or will this gap between potential and delivery remain and widen? And you just have slogans and what have you. So, let's look at what the finance minister said. Her latest pitch through the union budget leans heavily on two pillars: Swadesh Darshan 2.0. Old Chestnut goes back to 2014 when this government came to power. It focuses on temple towns, heritage, thematic circuits. Then there's the second one called PRASAD. Yes, we like these acronyms. PRASAD. It stands for Pilgrimage, Regeneration, and Spiritual Augmentation Drive. What has happened? Nothing significant. Otherwise, we wouldn't be complaining. The FM has announced a 12-week pilot to train 10,000 tourist guides in partnership with Indian Institutes of Management across 20 iconic sites. Much needed. 12 weeks is not long. Let us see if they actually ensure that curated groups go in instead of people running wild, scratching on walls, destroying heritage, but keep our fingers crossed. Then she has talked about the creation of the National Institute of Hospitality and upgrading of existing institutions, a suite of initiatives ranging from eco mountain trails, specialized walkways, immersive storytelling technologies. She's also proposed a national destination digital knowledge grid. This is going to document and map India's cultural heritage and tourist sites. All of it sounds wonderful. You go to the net, you search for it. The question is what happens on the ground when you reach that destination. Let's come to that later. More concretely, Nirmala Sitharaman spoke of transforming 15 archaeological sites into a vibrant, experiential cultural destination. She named some: Dholavira and Lothal in Gujarat, Rakhigari in Haryana, Adichalanur in Tamil Nadu, Sarnath and Hastinapur, and Lee Palace in Ladakh. I'm waiting for it. Question is this going to be largely old wine in not so new bottles, or is it going to be different? I don't see anything to say why this time is going to be different. After all, we've seen clever slogans and acronyms right from 2014. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about promoting tourism, not terrorism? We loved it. This is when the Swadesh Darshan 1.0 was launched, PRASAD was launched, and after that, you've had a series of updates and expansions of such initiatives. Nothing transformation, incremental changes. So you'll have a bit of better infrastructure there, some sound and light, something, but nothing that has transformed tourism. The same old complaints about cost, service, infrastructure, and mafias persist. Just last year, you had an explosion of it on social media. In the run up to the budget, the tourism ministry actually put out a press release and it has claimed a lot of success. It says 75 out of 76 projects sanctioned under Swadesh Darshan 1 are physically complete. Then Swadesh Darshan was revamped in 2022. 53 new projects have been sanctioned and we are waiting for what happens. For Prasad, the release says 31 out of 54 projects sanctioned with over 1700 crore have been completed. Remember, started in 2014. 31 projects are completed. In addition, a special assistance has been released of 3,295 crore for another 40 projects across 23 states for development of iconic tourist centers to global scale scheme. There's a link to the press release here if you want to read details. But we are talking the same thing: global tourism, iconic, more of the same in this budget. Oversight bodies, meanwhile, tell a different story. A report of the Controller and Auditor General in 2023 exposed severe shortcomings, including delays, unrealistic budgets, absence of feasibility studies before the launch in tourism infrastructure. In 2024, a parliamentary panel noted that less than 50% of 46 projects were finished in a decade. That's why you had the press release. By 2025, the Accounts Committee of Parliament flagged a systemic failure in execution and fund utilization. 2026, the budget has new promises. But tourism development needs much more than policy pronouncements and promises. Infrastructure on the ground has to go far beyond incremental changes and a few pockets of better connectivity or parking or what have you. But we tend to be so grateful for it because we are not comparing it with what you get in Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. Singapore is at least expensive. The rest of them actually cost less than India. So let's look at specific places in India, which are, to my mind, microcosms of failure despite the potential. The most visible, of course, is Goa. This is the jewel of India's tourism crown. People used to come since the 90s by charters, okay? But foreign arrivals have crashed from 89 lakh in 2017 to 51 lakh in 2023. Social media is awash with angry posts about unchecked taxi mafia. So you may say, forget the foreigners. Domestic tourists want to rush to Goa, and they do from across the country. There are flights connecting. You land in Goa, and you have to face the taxi mafia, and it is maddening and it's expensive. Meanwhile, there is rampant cutting of trees, deteriorating infrastructure, and congestion because of haphazard construction, especially on those beautiful beaches. The government's response: denial and inaction. First, they say it's untrue. Numbers tell the story. Now, let's go to Varanasi, the PM's constituency. It has seen massive infrastructure development. You see photos of it on social media. You have the spectacular Ganga Aarti. Everybody talks about it. It draws people from around the world. Yet, simultaneously, you have social media posts about filth, poor hygiene, and untreated sewage going back into the Ganga. And yet, you have for the last 11 years the Namami Gange project. You know how much money has been put into it? 45,600 crore incrementally over the last 11 years. And yet, you do not have a transformation with this kind of spending, even in that one place, Varanasi. You're happy about some amounts of construction, but the Ganges River, the mother, still dirty, still full of filth. If this happens in the PM's own constituency, what are we really expecting from the budget? The finance minister talks about eco mountain trails. They're cutting forests all the time. You had the Aravali protests. 2024 had this massive tragedy in Wayanad. 200 people were killed due to heavy rains. Why? Primarily because of rampant construction on the fragile slopes. And this is not limited to Kerala. In fact, Kerala is our better tourist destination. Over tourism, reckless, illegal construction on fragile hill stations is a lot more in the north. The unwillingness to heed ecological warnings is a constant. We want to build roads, we want to build hotels on cliffs, and every time in the monsoons, you have social media posts about things just collapsing into raging rivers. Now, let's go to the other thing that the FM talked about. Again, part of tourism, medical tourism. Yeah, I know. Those of you who are waiting to get admission into better hotels would wonder why do we have people coming from abroad. But it is a requirement for the economy, and it's again an old chestnut. So, medical value tourism has been talked about for 25 years from the turn of the century. And believe it or not, by a BJP finance minister, the late Jaswant Singh, talked about global health destination. India as a global health destination in 2002. In 2005-6, we announced medical visas, M visas. In 2015, the Tourism Ministry announced the National Medical and Wellness Tourism Board to oversee medical tourism initiatives. 2015, remember, we talk about budget 2026. In 2022, we were still talking. Heal in India was our slogan this time. By now, this whole medical tourism sector is worth $9 billion. It's projected to grow to $58 billion over the next 10 years by 2035. Indian costs are 30 to 80% lower than the rest of the world. We have great hospitals, we have skilled doctors, we have shortages, of course, we need more. But MVT hasn't taken off. Unlike, again, comparisons with Thailand and Malaysia, which offer world class facilities and packages which blend care as well as tourism. What works in these countries is a unified policy, accreditation, short waiting times, marketing, and a general positive perception about safety and hygiene. And this is true of their tourism, this is true of their service, and this is true of their hospitals. Budget 2026 now talks about establishing 5 regional medical value tourism hubs in partnership with the private sector, which will integrate medical, educational, and research facilities with dedicated facilitation centers for international patients. Finance Minister also spoke about capitalizing on the global interest in traditional medicine by setting up 3 new All India Institutes of Ayurveda. Frankly, when it comes to medical tourism or even Ayurveda, there are centers of excellence in India in spite of the government, and not because of the government. There's no need for a partnership. Do you know that King Charles and Queen Camilla come regularly to a place in Bangalore? Because it offers them the quality that they want. These are private visits, not state visits. They have succeeded in spite of the surrounding chaos and not because of government policies. You have similar centers in Manipal, you have centers in Rishikesh where global celebrities come. Then, about hospitals, you have great private hospitals in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Manipal. People come to them. They come in spite of government doing or not doing anything. You don't need public private partnerships. You need to get out of the way and facilitate. You don't need to create centers. You need to make it possible to have more of these. So it's completely unclear if the budget could specifically help India tap into the global wellness tourism market, which is estimated at $1.3 trillion. Unless we have an integrated approach, it's not going to happen. Indian tourism, including medical tourism, has huge potential, which is badly wasted because delivery on the ground needs a different level of commitment, determination, and initiatives to ensure world class facilities at competitive prices. The union budget has announced plenty of plans, but local mafias, those who permit illegal construction, which are pillaging our hills, thrive on political linkages. That's why nothing is done about them. Unless we have the will to deal with them, address safety, hygiene, and cultural issues, the yawning gap between tourism potential and delivery will remain, no matter how much money is thrown into innumerable schemes year after year. Do you agree? Do you travel? If you do, take note of it and amplify this because we need change. We have a beautiful country. We need it to become cleaner and more attractive for us and for the rest of the world. Thank you.